Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about debt today, something quite close to my heart because I've used debt to buy property in the past, and I still do. But I know a lot of people, 95% plus really, can't handle debt and don't know the mechanics of how it's structured. So this one's quite important. If you're in a world of bad debt, which is to say credit card debt, that's bought clothes, holidays, cars, personal loans, that's bought the same. It's time to get out of that now, and that is one way of, 1 foot out of the wage slavery, because very often we go to work in order to pay debts that we've acquired in the past. One tip is never acquire debt to buy anything that's going to go down in value, which is most things. Something that's going to go up in value, such as real estate, especially when it gives you rent to pay the debt, that's good debt. Bad debt is anything that you acquire debt for in order to satisfy instant gratification. Okay? So credit cards, personal loans that you take out to buy clothes, cars, that's bad debt. Debt to acquire assets that go up in value and maybe produce cash flow, that's good debt. However, most people can't handle any debt. Debt and money printing, they're two different things, but debt was created during the Roman Empire. The physical printing of money was obviously around the era of the printing press. But what debt is today is a new slavery chain. So they've took people out of chains and they've included debt and wages in order to enslave people. It's not necessarily a nefarious act, it's just the way human beings have evolved. So this is the manifestation of it. Yeah, there's a huge demand for instant gratification in the world that we're living in, particularly in the West. So if you've got access to a £10,000 credit card and you want that, second-hand car because it's cheap, you put that on the credit card. As soon as you drive off that court, it's worth 20% less, and now you're in negative equity, the debt that you had to the value of the asset that you've got. That's an example. We've got also people buying clothes that they don't need to impress people that they don't like, using money that they don't have. And these debt instruments that have been created, like personal loans, credit cards, they can enslave people for decades, even a lifetime in some people's cases, if you don't know how to handle it. Bad debt, as we mentioned, is something that you need to put to bed. If you can't handle money very well, one of the biggest steps on the path to escape wage slavery is to get out of bad debt. Why do a lot of people work or take second jobs is to pay debt that they've got into in the first place. So in this video, I think that the overall message is to get out of any bad debt that you've got. Any credit card debt, any personal loans that aren't serving you, get rid of them as quickly as you can. If you've got more than one credit card, there's a system whereby you can pay £10 or £20 a month more than the minimum payment on a credit card and get that one down. And then on the second credit card, pay the monthly figure that you were paying on the entire first one and pay that off on the second one. And within 3 or 4 years, every single credit card will be paid off. So that's something you can do and something you can look into. Real estate, which is where I've built quite a lot of wealth, was a different matter entirely. That's good debt because you can acquire assets that go up in value over time and pay rent. So the debt is very different, but I still wouldn't recommend people do that without some serious education, because the system, you're sort of manipulating the system that's been set up. 95% plus of people don't understand how the system is set up and therefore can't utilise the debt instruments that are there. As we said at the beginning, the system isn't set up for the average person. The system is set up for the people who are knowledgeable about how the system works. So if you're not prepared to learn the system, don't get into debt. Okay? So I'll see you in the next video. Listen to this one again because it's quite important. But the fundamental message is get out of bad debt, because if you want to escape wage slavery, your outgoings are going to be a lot lower. Okay, I'll see you in the next video.